for those who are here, we can interact, we can ask questions. I believe there's been an introduction to SYL that has done already. Is it? Hello?
Yeah, we're here, man.
Yes. I'm saying, has an introduction to Senior Youth Leader Award been given already as you have meeting physically?
Okay, I have not attended any physical meeting, but some form of description has been done on in church to just to sensitize to people what SYL is.
Okay. Okay. In that case, then I'll also give a brief introduction, yeah? So, let's see Nicholas here. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so SYL, or the Senior Youth Leader Award, much like the Master Guide program, is basically a leadership program for ambassador and young adult leadership. Okay, so the same way that we learn how to handle the issues of adventurers and pathfinders, there's also been a growing need to understand the needs of ambassadors and young adults. Hence, the Senior Youth Leader Award. The idea of it has been around since the 1950s, but we have seen it being launched here in Zambia since 2018 when we had the first investor. And we had some people invested last year from Chainama as well. We had five candidates who invested. So basically, for you to be invested as a senior youth leader, or for you to receive the Senior Youth Leader Award, you need to go through the training program, which has a portfolio. Much like the Master Guide program has its own portfolio of requirements, in the same way, the SYL, the Senior Youth Leader Award, has a portfolio of requirements. So, what we're going to do today is discuss that portfolio, which has been shared in the group. I'm hoping that we had a chance to open it and to go through it and to just see what it's about. So what we'll be doing today is just going through each and every aspect. Okay, we'll be going through each and every aspect of the portfolio. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Are there any questions so far? Okay. So
Mm.
what you're seeing now is we're trying to rebrand the website, because previously the website we have been using has been the Pathfinder website, Master Guide website, sorry, which had a section for SYL. But now we are working on having SYL on its own. So this is the rebranded website you're seeing just for Chainama.
Mm.
You'll be able to access the requirements, you'll be able to see the requirements, and also you'll be able to click on any of the requirements, and it will lead you to what you need to do for that requirement. Okay. So the actual portfolio is the one that Nicholas shared, the PDF file, and it will be sort of like a requirements card, and you have to fill in the portfolio in that way. I think it would be better if I open it up for you. Let me just open it up. Okay, so this is the portfolio. I'll try to go through as quickly as possible and go over the obvious things quickly. So first thing, of course, is your personal details, which you write down when you get the physical form. Okay, I don't know if it's clear. Okay, just your full names, contact details, and then we'll move on to prerequisites. Okay, so under prerequisites, you must be a baptized member of the church in regular standing. And if you can remember your baptism date, you can add those details: baptism date, the place, and the church where your membership is held. If your membership is not with us at Chainama, you will need an introductory letter from your church, just introducing who you are, and then we can proceed. Actually, that should have been done before the induction. But if you're joining now as a non-member, you can still ask for that introductory letter. Okay. You will need confirmation of the district youth president and the church elder. Now, you will notice that on most of the requirements, you will need a mentor. So it's the duty of the leadership to assign a mentor to each of the candidates. So a mentor is someone who has completed the SYL already, or somebody who is conversant with the youth ministry, or an elder. But I'm sure we have enough resource at church who have already been invested, and they will be acting as your mentors just to confirm that you've completed each requirement. So the leader, Mr. Nicholas, and the other youth leaders, just make sure that each person who is going through this program is assigned a mentor. Okay? And then have a recommendation from your local church board So you need a letter as well, which will be attached to your um, registration form. So there's a registration form as well, which you need to fill in. I hope this will be made available as to everyone, the registration form. Just an indication that you are registering for SYL during this year. You must be at least 16 years of age to start, and the program has a minimum of 1 year and maximum of 3 years. So within that period, you should be able to complete. Is an active staff member or supporter of the Ambassador or Young Adults Ministry. So we are not interested in investing people just for the sake of investing. Young Adults and Ambassador is very sensitive clubs that really need your involvement. So my prayer is that everyone who has joined the Senior Youth Leader Award Program somehow wants to be involved in the Ambassador or Young Adults Ministry. You don't have to be a leader appointed by the church. You can be an instructor appointed by the leaders of the youth ministry to instruct in a certain maybe a certain topic. We'll look at the modules later on, but if you have expertise that you can share with the ambassadors or young adults, this is your chance to be an active staff member or supporter. So staff members are the leaders, supporters are instructors, and those who are influential in the ambassador and young adult. Okay. So let's make sure that we assign everybody who is in this class should be assigned something to do within the ambassador and young adults ministry, and you should be able to write about it in the future as you'll be handing in your portfolio. How have you been involved? Okay, so the third part is you and God. So has requirements such as the spiritual gift analysis, which can be found on youth.adventist.org. So if you follow from the website here, okay, this is a link that you can actually click and go through. You find, okay, it will take you to a spiritual gift analysis that's that we all need to take part in. So it's basically a number of questions that you'll be asked about your own personality. Questions that you must answer based on your own personality. And it will give you the result of your it will give you your result of your spiritual gift. So whether your gift is in service, is in helping others, is in administration, is in hospitality, that's something that you need to know so that we can help each other to decide what department you're best suited in. Okay. So once you complete the test, the online test, I'm trying to bring it up now. It's just that the internet is a bit slow. But once you complete the spiritual gifts assessment, you receive an email coming from the GC. You receive an email
Hi,
that lets you
hi,
know
Chairman.
what your spiritual gift is. To save that email,
Hello.
print it out. Yes.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
I did the yes, I have completed the questionnaire, but I haven't received the email. So I'm just wondering how long it takes.
Okay.
So I was wondering if I have to
The
redo
email
the
doesn't take
test,
long.
or it doesn't take long, isn't it? So maybe I just redo it because I haven't received it and it's
It
been more
doesn't take
than an
long.
hour.
So, okay. Oh, okay. More than an hour. Okay, maybe give it a day. Give it a day, and then don't just check your normal inbox. Also check if your inbox is divided into maybe social, promotional. Check all those, and if it's not, then check also your spam folder. It might have been filtered into spam. But it's very clear. It very clearly states in the subject spiritual gifts analysis or something like that. If they haven't changed it. Yes. So if you've done it an hour ago, I think just give it a little bit more time. Give it maybe a day, and you should be able to receive it. Okay. So when you have that, you can have it printed, or you can bring it to church and have it printed, and then it will be attached to your portfolio. Okay. Is there any other question on the spiritual gifts? Okay. So after you know your spiritual gift, this is where number 2 comes in. Write a brief summary of how your gifts can most effectively be used in the youth ministry. So, number one thing to mention is whatever we are writing should be handwritten. Apart from the things that we need, like the spiritual gift analysis, which is given to us, this must be handwritten, and you have been given a word limit of 250 words. So, according to your knowledge, the Bible and the spirit of prophecy on spiritual gifts, actually, the spiritual gift analysis, it comes with some insight on how you can use your spiritual gift. So you read the results. Don't just read the because it will give you 1, 2, 3 your primary gifts and 1, 2, 3 your secondary gifts. It will give you that list, but it will also give you an explanation of how you can use your gifts. So after reading that, then you write a brief summary on how you can effectively use your gifts in the youth ministry. This is something that uh, you find also in the registration form. In this registration form, you find a portion where it asks you, what do you consider are your talents and leadership strengths? So over here in the registration form, you just write briefly, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. But in for this one, you need the whole 250 words. Okay, specifically for how they can be used in the youth ministry. So if you're like me and your gift is in administration, then how are you going to use it in the youth ministry? If your gift is in hospitality, how do you use it in the youth ministry? Okay, I think I can just bring up the list of spiritual gifts. There's faith, celibacy, giving, evangelism, healing, helping, mercy, apostleship, healing, leadership, miracles, prophecy, teaching, wisdom. Okay. Okay. And then we go to the book summaries. So the steps to Christ, 250 word summary. This one for those who have done master guide training. I'm sure you already
Sorry,
know what this
Emma.
is about. Yes.
Hello. On
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
on the summary of the spiritual gifts, it
Yes.
says that we need to study the Bible and the spirit of prophecy teachings on spiritual gifts. Do
Yes.
do we have specific chapters in the Bible or specific books that we can read on spiritual gifts to
Not
summarize our?
necessarily that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Not necessarily that they are given. in the requirements, or they are given in the portfolio. But we know that in the Bible, the portions where we find the spiritual gifts, you can find it in Romans and in First Corinthians, and
Mm-hmm.
then in the spirit of prophecy as well. Specifically, those some of those things are summarized after you received your email about your spiritual gift. There's also
Okay.
some guidance in there which comes from the spirit of prophecy.
Thank
MG
you.
Chama.
Yes.
MG Chama. On the part
Yes.
of the summary, on the part of the summary, are we only restricted to 250 words, or we
Yes.
can write more than that?
You're very enthusiastic. You can write more, but uh, I advise that you keep it as it says. It's a summary, so you keep it as a summary. If there's anything more you need to
Okay.
explain, you can explain as you are defending yourself that you really know what you're talking about. But my advice is keep it brief and simple. Yes, 250 words is it's a lot. It's a lot. You can use it wisely. Uh,
Okay.
Same goes to steps to Christ. There, how many steps in this steps to Christ? There are about 13 steps, is it?
Yes, 13.
13 steps. So I'm sure 250 words is generous enough for those. I wouldn't advise you to recycle the ones you use for master guide, because this is also for our own personal benefit. The more we read, the more we go through these things, the more we are conversant, the more we can teach, the more we can share. So if possible, just write another one. I know master guide last year we maybe did 1 page or half a page, but this is specific 250 words.
On
Okay.
the part of the summaries, MG Chama,
Yes.
on the part of the summaries, are we writing the benefits that we are finding from the book, or we are supposed to summarize the book at large?
Okay. Now on the summaries, I always advise that you write your personal implication, because anyone can write a summary. If we all wrote a summary, we'll just be copying what's in the book. But if you write your personal reflection of the book, how it has impacted you, when Ellen White talks about repentance, what does that mean to you personally? That adds more weight. That shows that you yourself have read it. But if it's just a general summary, the first step is this is what it does, the second step is this, there's no personal touch there. So even somebody who is examining you would know that this is just a summary from maybe from the internet or something like that. But it's always good to have your personal reflection.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers.
Yeah, it's clear.
Mm. Okay. So number 4, complete the devotional guide Encounter Series 1, Christ the Way, or complete another year-long Bible reading plan that covers the 4 Gospels and submit a summary of your reading. So there's a Encounter Series. Let me just see if I can open it somewhere. Encounter Series is a daily devotional. It's a daily devotional that covers the books um, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, basically the Gospels. Okay. I'm trying to open it now. Just give it a moment. So we have been told to complete it. Okay. So last time we were doing this, we we only had a short time to complete. But now that we're doing a whole year, in fact, some of us will be doing this program for 2 whole years. So we'll be able to complete Encounter Series, a daily devotional. So there's a guide from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, which has the books and some some that are taken from Desire of Ages. It has some verses and um, some portions that are taken from Desire of Ages, all the way from January to December. So it's up to you. If you have a journal or a devotional that you write your verses in, this is also the Encounter series, just another way of writing it. January 1, we're supposed to have read Mark 1 1 and Luke 1. So you can have your journal and have them written down. So for this one, we have to find out from the conference if we have to do the whole year or if we're doing maybe 1 month, but it has to be on record that you are following the daily readings. Okay. So this is also
Chama,
available. Yes.
I note that they haven't specified how long the summary should be under here. Do we just
Yes.
keep writing as much as we feel, or
Yes.
I don't know?
Yes. If you're doing your morning devotion, some of us just write the verse and maybe write one sentence. As long as you're following and you're recording in your journal, that is fine. That is fine. Just a devotional journal, just to show that you're recording the verses. What I'm not sure about is if it's a year long, the year long program that we're doing, or we're doing for a specific period. Perhaps we can ask from the conference representatives. But we're given two options: either Encounter Series 1, or if you have another year long Bible reading plan that covers the four Gospels, you can also share with your mentor. And if it's appropriate, they'll allow you to go on with it. The idea is to have daily devotion and to base it on the four Gospels. So these are available
Just
on the
on the same,
website. Yes.
just on the same one. When you go
Okay.
for the speech on spiritual discovery, the issue to do with the
Okay.
devotional journals for 6 months. Now, how can we differentiate the two from? How can we differentiate the one that we find under spiritual discovery from the encounter series? There's where we are going to find the us summarizing for 6 months,
Okay. Let me
the
open that
devotion,
one
and
and
this one.
is it one of the options?
Yes.
Let me just find on what page?
Uh, I just came across
It's
it
page
in the
5,
requirements.
Oh, okay.
Chama. There are actually two
Yes.
files. One is on the reading the Desire of Ages, and then the other 5 is on
Yes.
one of the following, and what he's talking about is A. So
Okay. Okay. I've
I
I've
also,
seen that.
yeah, I understand this question because we need to differentiate
Yes.
the two, or
Yes.
the two can be used on both.
Yes. I guess if you're keeping your record for Encounter series, then you can use it for this devotional journal. If you're keeping a record
Okay.
for Encounter series,
Okay.
then you can use it for the requirement there. But the other requirements are also quite interesting. Steps to
Okay.
discipleship and the e-week of prayer. Anyway, we'll come down to that. We'll come down to that soon. Oh, okay. So it's number 5. Complete, read or listen to the book Desire of Ages. So Desire of Ages is also part of Encounter series.
Mm-hmm.
Desire of Ages is also part of Encounter series. So by doing Encounter series, you can actually complete more than one of the requirements here. The desire of ages and the journal. But if you want to do this one separately, if you just want to have desire of ages separately, which I also recommend, you can do it the same way we did the steps to Christ. Write your personal reflection. Write what the book is about, and then give your personal reflection. Handwritten, yeah? Then we go to the other 5, I guess, here. Keep a devotional journal for a minimum of 6 months, summarizing what you learned in your devotional time and outlining how you're growing in your faith. Outline devotional and summary. So your devotional can be your encounter series, and you can have a separate summary for that. Okay. Complete steps to discipleship, personal spirituality curriculum. Now, steps to discipleship, if you choose, because you're just choosing one option from these, yeah? So steps to discipleship, it's actually a program on its own. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yes. It has its own outline and its own requirements for you to complete steps to discipleship on its own. There used to be some seminars that were organized for this, but I think now you can do it personally because they finally come up with this steps to discipleship program produced by the General Conference. Okay, so these are the sessions and steps to discipleship. Okay, these are the sessions. Personally, I never got to do this, but I have seen people attending some seminars on discipleship, and they get a pin that they have completed steps to discipleship. I don't know if our conference is able to organize such an event, but if you choose to do it, you can do it on your own. There are activities in each step, and there's this. Let me see if I can just show it. There are always questions at the end of each session. So if you're able to do this program, you can have it printed out, complete it, and fill in all the forms, fill in all the requirements. There are some assignments that you are given to go out and just show your discipleship. Basically, discipleship is a disciple is also a fisher of men. So some of the activities involve you going out. Okay. If that is your desire to do this program, you can involve your mentor as well, and I'm sure they can guide. They can guide on that. Okay. Summarize, critique, and evaluate the e-week of prayer of the current year. E-week of prayer is done every November, second week of November, if I'm not mistaken. It's on the GC Youth Ministries Facebook page. So it's separate from GYD, it's separate from any other week of prayer. It's just e-week of prayer. It has a specific target for young adults and ambassadors, and it has specific topics which they look at throughout the week. So this one can only be done in November if you're interested to do that one. Every year in November. Okay. And then the fundamental beliefs.
Hi.
Oh, yes.
On the e-week
Yes.
of prayer, so it can't be found,
Yes.
the one that was done last year. It can't be
You can
found that somebody
search on Facebook.
Okay.
Somebody tried to look for it. Anyway,
I'm just thinking that it looks like an easier option here.
Oh, okay.
On the 3.
So it can be found, But again, we have to consider that we're looking at the current year. So for this year, it will be November 2021. For last year, it's there. It's there on Facebook. But for this year, we have to wait for November. And then read and give a summary of each of the 28 fundamental beliefs. So we are not compromising on this one as well. We have to know all the fundamental beliefs. Because if we remember, the purpose of SYL is because the youth are leaving the church. Why they're leaving the church? Not only doctrinal issues, but relational issues, but also the doctrine. Our doctrine has to be strong. Our foundation has to be strong. So we have to summarize all the fundamental beliefs. What has happened? Okay. We have to be able to summarize all the 28 fundamental beliefs. Just a short summary of each one of them, and we can submit that. So some of these requirements, we can start working on them now. We don't have to wait for the class. Those of us who have already done it before, we can start doing them now. Okay, you and you, do the following. Let me just add those who have come. Okay, in view of Colossians 1 verse 16, develop your own life vision and mission. Okay, identify 3 current roles in your life, at least one of which is spiritually oriented, and write 3 goals or objectives for each. This one I think is also something that we can do without waiting for a class, because Colossians 1:16, I guess we all know about it. So how does you knowing that Jesus is the creator, how does that help you define your own life vision and mission? Identify 3 current roles in your life. I don't know why people had problems with this one. What do you do in your life? What are your roles in your personal life? Are you a parent? Are you a mentor? Are you a teacher? Are you a leader? A family member? Are you a landlord? What are the roles in your life? One of them should be spiritually oriented. So you can mix them. Like I've mentioned, you're a parent, you're a landlord, whatever you are, but one of them should be spiritually oriented. So maybe you're also a Sabbath school teacher, or maybe you're also a mentor, maybe you're also a role model for someone. I don't know what it is, but what are the roles in your life, and what are the goals or objectives for each? So as a parent, for example, what is your objective? What are 3 objectives that you want to achieve as a parent? As a teacher, what are the 3 objectives you want to achieve? As a house owner, what are the 3 objectives you want to achieve? This one is simple enough. Have and teach the following honors: attached certificates: physical fitness, nutrition, outdoor leadership, stewardship, first aid, and literature evangelism. So these are 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 honors, which I guess the leadership will help in making sure that we have a class for these honors. Okay. Those who already have certificates, you can prepare your certificates, or at least have them replaced in time. Okay. Now we have another book: read or listen to education or messages to young people. Once again, the summaries, we can follow the same procedure for the summaries here. Demonstrate your leadership skills by doing 2 of the following: develop and conduct 3 creative worship sessions for ambassador or young adult. 3 creative worship sessions. Creative worship sessions. So this is where your involvement in ambassador and young adults comes now. We can do it as a group. if say for instance, uh, this coming week, myself and Nicholas will take up the devotion time during our meeting. During this devotion, we're going to have an icebreaker. This icebreaker will involve people separating into groups and giving memory verses. That's a creative worship session. Okay, you're doing something out of the ordinary, something that is creative, but it's adding spiritual value to the ambassadors and to the young adults. I don't know if that makes sense. Last year, what we did was we conducted online worship or online discussions with our group, and we had those online discussions where each person participated just the way we are participating right now, and it was posted on Facebook. So that was an online worship session, a creative worship session, especially in the times that we are having now. Just make sure that everyone participates, and it was recorded on Facebook. Even now, you can still go back and see those sessions. Yes, and we included the
Just to
links in our portfolios.
leader there.
Yes.
Yes, looking at the structure, the SYL structure of programs and schedules that I have tried to help out to make. One of the things, that one will be catered actually online, looking at the situation. You've already alluded on the situation of COVID-19, and this is actually one of the near upcoming events that we'll have to do maybe in 3 to 4 weeks, but I'll give an update on that in the group.
Okay. All right. So the leader is already helping us with one of the requirements here. We're only doing two of them. So one of them is already catered for in the online worship sessions. This one, participation in leadership role within your local church, youth group, in a conference sponsored event. So whenever we have conference events and then we are volunteering or acting as leaders in those events, then we qualify for this. Yeah, if you're a volunteer in a conference event, maybe youth rally, maybe recreation. I've seen the program for Woodlands Conference. Any of the events, if you volunteer, then you can include that. Lead ambassadors through one module to certification. Now, on this one, ambassadors have what they call modules. Yeah, there are 7 modules that have to do with different aspects of ambassador of the ambassador club. So the 7 modules are, let me just see if I can find them here. Yes, there are 7 modules, and once ambassadors complete a particular module, they are given a certificate. So our job will just be to guide them through that module. So there's a module for discipleship, and each module has instructions of things that you need to do with ambassadors. Okay. So one of the modules is actually mandatory for all of us, which is the module on. Let me just open it as I try to rush along. Not outdoor. Just a moment. SYL. Okay. One of the modules which is compulsory for all of us is this one, outdoor, module 4. which has personality, character, and outdoor adventure. Yes, so we should be conversant with the 7 modules in Ambassador, and we can group ourselves to choose which one we are going to teach. Okay. But we have to at least complete one of the 7 modules with our ambassadors. There's a link to the 7 modules on the website, so it's accessible to everyone.
Definitely,
Chama,
we're going to do that.
Yes.
you have mentioned that there's one that is compulsory. So we all have
Yes.
to do this one. Where we all do this one and then we do an extra one.
Not necessarily. There's a component of one which is mandatory. I'll get to that one shortly. It's one of the other requirements. It's coming up shortly. But generally, we just have to do one with the ambassadors. That one is just a portion of it. Yeah, we'll come to it. Be an active ambassador, young adult, or Sabbath School staff member for at least 1 year and attend at least 75% of all the staff meetings. So if you're in the Sabbath School department or if you're a Sabbath School teacher, this works well for you in the year 2021. If you're a leader, an ambassador, or young adult, this also works well for you. If not, as we said earlier, you still have to be a supporter of Ambassador or Young Adult Club. Attend 75% of all staff meetings. Be a literature evangelist for a minimum of 60 hours in liaison with the publishing department of the local conference. This one is self-explanatory. But we are just doing 2 of these. So this one we are told we're going to have it compulsory. Everyone is going to do this one. So you can choose another one. You can choose another one. Okay. And this one is also kind of compulsory. Yeah, this one is also compulsory. Okay, physical fitness. Participate in a physical fitness plan by completing one of the following. The physical components of the AY Silver Award or the Gold Award, if you have already done the Silver Award. This one will be handled by the conference. The college fitness program or any other like AY program, such as Morning Watch. So if you are doing the Master Guide Physical Fitness program, which the Master Guide Director is leading at the moment, you qualify. If you're doing the Silver Award, you qualify. If you have a personal fitness program, you qualify. Okay? I would encourage that we join the Master Guides in the physical fitness program. Mr. Nicholas, I hope you can see to it that that program is also shared with us.
Yeah, I tried to connect with the director, and then I'm also waiting for the conference just to give me feedback on the Silver Award so that we can see which one will be very easy for us to be
Okay.
on.
All right. Participate in small group.
Sorry, Chama.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So for the people that got silver and gold awards just a while ago, those don't apply here.
Unfortunately, they do, because this is physical fitness for the current year, which you are doing the SYL. If you have the silver and gold award, you can present that. But it also has to be relevant to that year. So the idea is we have to be physically fit. We have to prove that we have had some physical fitness program, at least like you've seen the third option here, personal physical fitness program based on a fitness book of your choice or workout program in consultation with your conference or mission youth director. So if you're taking a walk every day and you're documenting it, that counts.
Sorry, my leader. A very good example are those. If we've seen those people that are running, like it will give you that app for running. So if you can
Yeah.
have a way of documenting that one, then you just bring it, then we put it on your portfolio. Another advantage is the our church has that Sunday workout. If you can just try and yourself with that, it will help. But obviously, the SYL department will have our actual workout program that will be given to the group shortly. Maybe by next week, it will be ready.
Okay. That's good news. But it's good that we also have our own plan B. Okay. Participate in small groups dialogue and submit a reaction paper or a recording on 10 of the following topics. Indicate the dates when each topic was covered. So these are the topics. Small groups dialogue. There's a guide also in our youth department. There's a guide on how to conduct small groups dialogue. Okay, there's a guide. Let me try to bring it up. Uh, there's a guide on small groups ministry, but seeing how difficult it is to have physical meetings, this is one of the things that can be done online. Okay. Tabasco and personal ministries have produced this small booklet on small groups ministry, which can help also. It can help us on how to have small groups, how to organize small groups. If you want to have your own personal small group of young ambassadors and young adults, seeing that it's difficult to meet in bigger groups, this can be done using this guide, but it can also be done through the online discussions that we'll be having. Am I correct in saying that,
Very correct,
Nicholas?
my leader.
So we can choose the 10 topics that we want to discuss from these, and we can have our online sessions. As you can see,
Actually,
these are.
that one is
Mhm.
actually very confirmed. We are going to do that program the exactly way the last year senior youth leaders did. So we're just going to
Okay.
use the same platform.
All right. We'll do it online. But it's important that we get the link. And those who want to do it physically can also do it physically. Okay, now this is the one I was talking about. Complete a 2-page research paper about standard temperament analysis program and complete the affiliated temperament inventory, module 4 ambassadors. So this is the one I was saying in module 4, which has to do with your personality. Module 4 of ambassadors, there's what is called the temperament inventory. Temperament inventory, uh, which is this one. It has some instructions. It's just a self-test as well, personality test to help you discover what is your temperament. Are you sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholy? But it's divided according to colors. So once you do this test, you print out this sheet, print out this form, personality test, complete the test, and write down what is your color. Simple as that. Yeah. So this will also be made available on the website. Complete a 2-page research paper about standard temperament analysis program. So in this module 4, and is this? Remember, we mentioned there are 7 modules in the ambassador. So in this module 4, this is where you will learn the standard temperament analysis, how to analyze your ambassadors, how to analyze your young adults, but specifically for ambassadors, it can also work for young adults. how to analyze their personality, how to group them, how to know which character can work with which other character. So in this program, that's where you'll find this requirement. That's where you'll find this requirement. And that's how you'll be able to complete. Okay, does that answer the question of where I was saying you need to do a module which is mandatory? Yeah, this is the one. Attend a union or conference-wide training on safety planning and insurance. Okay, so the conference has to help us with this one. You and the church. Know and understand the 10 I-core values. Okay, so there's a strategy that has been developed by our church, and they're called the I-core. Sorry, they're called the I-core values. Okay, let me just see if I can bring that up and open it. So we have to summarize all the 10 I-core values. Just prepare a small document and write them down, handwritten, of course. So these I-core values are just the values that the church should develop and evaluate if it's more towards church unity and being a family of God. And these are things that are around the idea of reaching up, reaching out, reaching in, and reaching beyond those values of the church. So they're embedded in those 4 values, and they can be found on the website that is showing there. But it's more about building relationships within the church, building relationship with each other, and also outdoor, like witnessing. So those are the I-core values. We can just follow the link. They're clearly outlined. All you have to do is just produce a summary and write handwritten. Do 2 of the following. Teach a Sabbath school lesson to a group of senior youths for a minimum of 1 quarter within 1 year. Participate fully in youth initiatives of the global church and higher organizations such as the Global Youth Day, Youth Week of Prayer, Youth Commitment Day, Homecoming Sabbath, and so on. This is self-explanatory. If you are not able to teach the Sabbath school to the senior youth, then at least be a contributor to Sabbath school, and in such a way that your teacher, your Sabbath school teacher, is able to certify that this person has been participating actively in our Sabbath school classes. Okay? Do one of the following. Plan and co-direct a weekend church or campus senior youth retreat or spiritual emphasis week for the youth. So for us, we have our Bible Congress. I don't know if it will be able to take off, but we are senior youth leaders, so we should be involved in the planning. So this is all about planning. Plan and direct at least 2 senior youth recreational activities covering a total time span of at least 6 hours. Where necessary, subdivide the group. So I'm aware that the Ambassador Club is planning to have recreation. So we can see how we can fuse ourselves in such programs. Write and pass the church heritage exam. This one, there's no discussion about it. Those who don't have church heritage, please.
Maybe
Yes.
just a clarity on that one, just to highlight. We have 2 different, some people, maybe I hope I'll answer your question. The people that were asking, are we going to have church heritage with master guide, some of us or what? So SYL have its specific church heritage lessons, but obviously the exam are just the same. But why are we doing that? So that it's easier, so that we don't have to have bridge gaps, so that we don't have to have confusions between the 2 clubs. So we'll have SYL club will have its own timetable Church Heritage and Bible Truth at its own time. So I would advise, if you're in a senior youth leadership, to use the timetable that will be given for senior youth leadership at Church Heritage.
All right.
Hi,
Okay. Thank you for that.
Nicholas. Yes. It's just a suggestion. I think for us to maximize on the limited capacity that we have as a church, I would suggest that you talk to Deborah and just have one class. Because already it's very difficult to mobilize teachers. Chama, you know this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I would suggest that you just have one class. What you can do is that if you want to have a separate list, you can have a separate list, but I think you can combine resources so that you maximize on the limited resources that you have.
All right, Mama, we'll make sure we put that one into consideration. We'll use that way, and we'll get back. We'll ask. Actually, you're her vice, so you're actually in the right decision on that one. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree
Sorry,
with that.
Tom, I had a question.
Okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
For people like us who don't have Sabbath school classes, we participate in the discussion leaders class.
Oh, yes.
Does that count? Does that count on what we're talking about?
Unfortunately, it
On
doesn't,
participating in Sabbath school? It doesn't. So I have to
because
teach.
you have to
So,
be teaching the senior youths.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be at least ambassadors and young adults.
Uh-huh.
If the ambassadors and young adults, I don't know if that will count, but you have to participate in a class somehow.
so what
Is it
what we are
because
going
of the clashing with the clerical duty?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
we'll actually give you a time so that at least during the departmental you teach a young adult class, so that at least we have records of where we can
Okay.
help each other.
Mm,
Yeah. So for
Okay.
those
Okay.
you have to
Thank you,
do that.
Nicola.
yeah.
Okay.
CJ,
Yes.
what about us who teach master guide? Are those not young adults?
Mm, no, because this is very, very much centered towards ambassadors and young adults and the ambassador and young adult program. So as long as if you're involved in master guide, that is completely out of the question for this particular module. Even if you're teaching ambassadors and young adults, but the content that you're teaching them is about pathfinding and adventuring.
What if
So it has to be
oh, okay, I get the point. I was thinking that if you are teaching them, because if I say I choose to teach ambassadors Bible truth,
okay.
is that voluntarily?
That counts. If you're teaching ambassadors Bible truth, that's okay. That counts.
Okay,
Then you're also fulfilling that active supporter of the ambassador club.
okay.
Yeah. So that's okay.
That happens.
But the whole idea of this is to be a separate group from master guide. So let's not mix the two. Yeah. And then enhance your knowledge of church heritage by completing the two of the following. I think why Nicholas was talking about the two different church heritage exams is because the church heritage exam for SYL last time was nothing like we've ever seen before. It was totally different. Yeah, Nicholas.
Yeah, very true. Actually, that's why
Yeah.
even the
So
That's why even the teaching, anyway, I'll get back to the group. That's why even the teaching, I would looking at what a pastor when he was giving the revision by Livala, he said, let's revise together so that I show you actually that this is church heritage. So one of the things that we actually got to learn is the senior youth leadership church heritage is more based on, I wouldn't want to say more detailed, but kind of encompasses a lot. So, and even the way it's even been handled, it's a little bit different. So we would actually have more advantage if we have another separate class that will actually emphasize some points that we need to learn.
Yeah, but of course, for the general things like the history of the church from the Old Testament to where we are, those ones are general. But there are certain things which come to change. Like even when you read the AY story, it's very different from the Church Heritage Manual. Even though it says here that they follow the Church Heritage Manual, but really, there's a lot of current affairs which have nothing to do with Pathfinders and Adventurers in the exam for SYL. So we can take that into consideration. Maybe we can combine up to a certain stage, but then at some point we have to separate the two.
Oh yeah,
But
I think with that knowledge, I think you're right.
mm,
Maybe the general church heritage, you can do it in a combined class.
okay,
But I wanted to ask, so there's a separate church heritage exam for SYL.
that's how it was done last time. So for this year, you can consult Nicholas and find out if that will be done as well.
Yeah.
But what about for you, Chairman, for Samuel? Did you have to go through that exam?
No, since
Or
for we already had the church heritage certificate, it's still valid. If you have the one from Master Guide, it's still okay.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
us, we are okay. It's the people that haven't that haven't
Yeah.
had haven't gone through. Okay,
Yes.
then I think I understand. Yeah.
natukula n'okukulayo mujji kulabwerera muli
Yeah, but at least
Ukulamema.
you have to
uh,
learn another
beside
heritage for knowledge sake.
uh, okay, then we can also follow this one, right? Or record the history of the local church in consultation with a conference, youth director, or mission youth director, or designated pastor, qualified youth ministries leader. History of the local church. This one, last time I got the record from the church clerk's desk. So we can even organize our own or I remember during the celebration, district status celebration, there were those people who have been there since the beginning of Chainama. We can invite one of those, like Elder Walvita, and those who have been there for a long time to help us with this
Yeah. But
record.
Chama, now I'm thinking. I think we need to start. I think we need to document what we know now and put it as
Yes,
part of the resource under the SYL.
yes,
I think we need somebody that can document for us. I mean, just getting what is already available and putting them somewhere where everyone can access.
can access. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Nicholas, you've heard, eh?
Yeah, I've heard very much.
Okay.
We'll see to it.
Okay, you and the community, this is our community service. Identify 10 needs in your community. Develop a plan on how to be relevant for your community in achieving one of the identified need and participate in any community service to fulfill your plan. So what are the 10 needs in your community? Examples, do we need examples for this? Okay, now we have COVID. There are people who can't afford masks. So that could be a community need. We have maybe the youth program to donate a bin, a garbage bin within the community. So maybe you've identified the need that there's no garbage bin, there's no way to dispose of trash. So we can engage in a community service project. We can do it collectively, we can do it individually. Okay, whatever resources you have, you can do it individually, document it, and submit. Or we can use whatever programs we have planned as young adults and ambassadors for community service. I know in the program of ambassador, there's a community service which is planned. In the program for young adults, is there any?
It has been combined with ambassadors, so it
Okay,
is there.
so we can do that. But these are things which we can do. Even today, you can sit down and write, these are the 10 needs in my community. It doesn't have to wait for a session. Okay, this should be one of the last things. Choose any two of the following, endeavoring to lead one or more people to Christ. So these ones are very, very, very personal. Very personal. Identify one young person who has stopped attending church and establish a relationship with him or her. This is personal. Prepare and run GYD. Be sure to make a follow-up after Global Youth Day. We usually fail on this one, on the follow-up. But we can mobilize ourselves this year and do something, regardless of the situation. Organize or present sermons for an evangelistic campaign, the public evangelism for a minimum of 2 weeks. Okay. Engage in the personal evangelism through friendship ministry, small groups ministry, etc. I previously shared this document about small group ministry, which is coming from Sabbath School and Personal Ministries. There's also one on friendship ministry, which we can use. I think I'll just upload it to the website. Serve as an Adventist Task Force volunteer for 6 months. Adventist Youth Task Force volunteer for 6 months. I don't know if we have this available here in Zambia or if we have it as one of the things you can do with ADRA, volunteer with ADRA for 6 months. Okay. We have 1 year in mission, serve as a student missionary, or 1 year in mission, volunteer for 6 months. Self-explanatory. Give a series of Christ-centered Bible studies covering at least 15 major doctrines. Can give to ambassadors and young adults or as part of your personal ministries program. Direct or co-direct a community better living or youth alive for a minimum of 5 days. I don't know how available these programs are in our conference, but whenever we get the chance, we can do that. So I think this is all. The last one is just the seminars. So the conference has to arrange for this 10-hour seminar. We are not yet at liberty to have our own, but if we do organize, we have to liaise with the conference to have these 10-hour seminars. Without this 10-hour seminar, it cannot be invested as SYL. So that's it. Is there any question? Any remarks, Walida?
Okay, just some announcements that we need to follow up. So we have the following programs are going to go as follows. On Sabbath, in the afternoon, always we'll be meeting just near where the young adults meet on the left side. Some of them will be having a class always on the Sabbath. So that will be our physical class. So we'll have a physical class on Sabbath, then we'll have our online class on Wednesday, same time, which is 20:30. So we'll have two classes a week. So at least if you miss the physical class, at least let's try by all means the online class, you are there. If you miss the online class, at least on this physical class, you're there because the things that have been discussed on the other class, like today we had the Wednesday class, which is an online. So on Sabbath when we meet, we're going to do a faster revision or a recap of everything as we learn what we're supposed to be learning on the Sabbath. Then the things that if you miss on the Sabbath, at least again you'll find them on Wednesday online. But let's try by all means to at least be available on both of them. Yes.
Read the Sabbath, we are fasting.
Yes. I'm
Tukarau
seeing
mpaka
it. Yes. So because looking at what we need to do is a lot, I will by Friday I'll send the calendar and the timetable and the time plan for SYL Chainama. So when you look at it, you will see that actually we have a very limited time and a lot of things that we need to do. We need to do modules. It's in module 4. We haven't even touched anything. We need to do church heritage for senior youth leadership, a part, of course, even if you are invested, at least you need to at least have some knowledge. You've seen again you what you need to do. We need to plan for online classes that we need to do. So we have a lot of things. The package is big. So it would be actually on our advantage if we utilize the time, especially the physical before the lockdown of churches come, because we may likely see that one coming up. So let's try by all means. Then the things that we can do as Brother Cham has already said, the things that we can do on our own, let's do them so that when we come, at least we verify this is what I've done. Is it, am I in the right accord and all that, so that we help each other out as we forge ahead. But please let's look out on Friday for the time management plan and the structure of our program so that at least we know what you've done, what you haven't done, because we'll be at least counter checking on those. So I think those are just the most important announcement that we need to take note. Then let's take use of the group. Sister Habasonda had raised the point of resources. The resources will be uploaded to you, obviously, hopefully on Friday also, where we can get access, probably maybe 75% of everything that we need. So, yeah, so let's just do our honest part. Thank you.
Amen.
Okay, there was a question from Wumba to say, do we have to do everything or a few selected per section? So
Well,
we are. Mhm.
well, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you can take that if you want.
Well, okay. Looking at the information that I've got from sources, which is not yet viable, I would say, but the conference, I'm seeing a limited. I'm seeing them giving us a little bit of a hint that we do almost 75% of the work. So in short, I would say we have to do almost everything. So there will be nothing like selective because the time is, we've started this in January and they started that like last year. So they expect us that we have been doing this in our local churches. So we're not going to take and we're not going to know, let's select so that we say this is what we did. We're going to do everything. At least if it fails, we say, okay, we did our part.
Mm.
I also have a question, Marie.
Yeah, I
Hello?
agree with you, Nicholas. We push to do everything. Where we end. But we have 1 year, 2 years, which we can. I'm sure we can push to do everything, except on those parts where you have an option to say, out of these five, do two, or out of these, do three, or something. Those are the ones which we can allow.
My question
Yes,
is,
there was another question.
my question is, the us who registered last year, are we
Hmm.
the ones right in second quarter or first quarter of this year?
So what we are going to do, it won't be based on the ones that registered last year or the ones that registered this year, because I have both two lists. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at your active participation, and we're also going to use your portfolio, because I'm going to will be counter checking on your portfolio. So the ones that are going, obviously, that are going to be invested are the ones that are obviously writing and invested. There are people that are going to write this year, like they're going to write Church this year, but are not going to get invested this year based on the, if you don't meet the requirements. That's why it would be very okay that we all do the requirements as we are going to be progressing as a class. Yeah. So if you're active, if you registered last year, you're not active, you're not going to be registered, you're not going to be invested. So if you're active this year and you registered this year and you're active, you're going to be invested. So it will be based on your interest and what you are, how progressive you are.
Okay. Does that cover it? Okay. Okay. Brother Danny Zulu, are you still there?
Yes, I am. I read.
Okay, you've been very quiet. Uh, you can, if there's no other question, you can help us with a prayer as we close.
Okay, shall we pray? Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the lesson that we've had today. Our prayer is, may you guide us through your Holy Spirit, not until we finish whatever we have started. And after all is said and done, shall we surely glorify your name. This we do ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, thank you. And
Thank you so much. Thank you for the lesson, Chama.
Kia, thank you for
Good night.
participation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.